Testing is the final checkpoint, akin to the debriefing where Bond demonstrates the mission's success to M, ensuring all objectives are met, much like showing the system satisfies its acceptance criteria to the customer. Agile in the world of Bond is the adaptability and quick thinking he exhibits in the field. Bond's agilist choice would be to anticipate and embrace change, prioritize the mission, customer, and work efficiently to deliver results rapidly and sustainably, reflecting the Agile principles. Agile software development is the framework that equips Bond with the flexibility and tools for a successful mission, with methods like Scrum and extreme programming being his tactics and strategies. An Agile coach would be someone like M, guiding Bond through the complexities of the mission, enhancing his skills and ensuring the right strategies are in place, whether at the team level, field agents, or enterprise level. MI6. Agility at scale could be seen as MI6's ability to operate efficiently not just in one location but globally, applying Agile principles across various departments and operations. The architecture owner could be compared to Q, who is responsible for the design and functionality of all gadgets and technical support Bond uses in the field. The backlog is the list of missions and tasks that await Bond's expertise, each with varying levels of priority and urgency. Behavior-driven development, BDDD, is another preparatory step, akin to the scenario planning for missions, focusing on the behavior and outcomes before the design or execution begins. The build verification test is the initial testing of gadgets by Q before they are handed over to Bond, ensuring they function correctly for further, more rigorous tests in the field. Burn down and burn up charts are like the progress reports M monitors, showing the rate at which missions are being completed or the value being added to national security. The business in Bond's world represents the government or the nation he serves, defining the value and objectives of his missions, ensuring each endeavor supports national interests. Business value is the return MI6 expects from Bond's missions, whether in terms of national security, intelligence gathered, or threats neutralized. Cadence in Bond's life is the regular rhythm of missions, debriefings, and the necessary downtime between assignments, ensuring a sustainable pace of operations. Capability refers to the combined skills, gadgets, technology, and processes that equip Bond to successfully complete his missions. A center of excellence in MI6 would be a department like Q Branch, a group of experts dedicated to innovation and support for field agents. Code analysis and code coverage are akin to the scrutiny and testing of Bond's gadgets and strategies to ensure they meet MI6's high standards and are ready for any scenario. Cognitive bias is the personal lens through which Bond may view a mission, potentially impacting his judgment and effectiveness. A collocated team is when Bond works directly with other agents and support staff in the same location, as opposed to distributed operations where coordination is remote. Collaboration is the teamwork between Bond and allies, where creative solutions and strategies are crafted through diverse perspectives and expertise. Commonality variability analysis, CVA, is the method by which Q might design gadgets that can be easily adapted for various missions or unforeseen circumstances. A community of practice within MI6 could be a network of spies sharing knowledge, techniques, and experiences to enhance their collective expertise. A constraint is any factor that limits Bond's operational effectiveness or mission progress, such as bureaucratic red tape or resource limitations. A complex adaptive system could describe the intricate network of international espionage, where understanding individual elements doesn't guarantee an understanding of the overall situation. Continuous process improvement is the ongoing effort by MI6 to refine and enhance operational effectiveness, learning from each mission to improve future outcomes. Cooperation is the coordinated effort across MI6 and with international allies, where everyone plays their part in the execution of well-defined plans. Cost-benefit analysis is the evaluation process where MI6 weighs the potential gains of a mission against the risks and resources involved. Cost of delay, COD, is the potential loss or missed opportunity that MI6 faces if a mission is delayed or intelligence is not acted upon promptly. Coupling and cohesion in the context of MI6 could refer to the interdependencies between agents and departments, coupling, and the focus and unity within a team, cohesion. Daily coordination meeting, James Bond might refer to this as a briefing. It's a short and focused meeting, perhaps in a hidden MI6 location, where agents report on their current missions, intelligence updates are shared, and strategy is fine-tuned. In a world where efficiency is key, these briefings are vital for keeping everyone on the same page and addressing any obstacles that may arise during a mission. Definition of done. For Bond, the DoD would be the specific objectives that define a mission's success. This might include the retrieval of sensitive information, neutralization of a threat, or securing an asset. It's the non-negotiable end goal that, once achieved, means Bond can make his suave exit, usually with a quip. Definition of ready, door. Before Bond embarks on a mission, the door ensures that he has everything he needs, from the latest gadgets from Q branch to the necessary intelligence. It's the checklist that must be ticked off before the action begins, ensuring Bond isn't going in unprepared. Demonstrable product. Bond's missions often revolve around obtaining or destroying a prototype technology or information that can be demonstrated as proof of mission success. It's the tangible evidence that he needs to provide to M that the job is done, even if it's not yet ready for public revelation. Design pattern. Bond himself is a pattern for solving problems, typically involving a blend of charisma, combat skills, and espionage. In the context of his missions, adopting the best approach to infiltrate, extract, or neutralize is akin to a design pattern in intelligence work. Disciplined, agile, In his operations, Bond demonstrates agility in his ability to adapt to unforeseen challenges. MI6 might adopt a DA approach in their strategic operations, focusing on streamlining processes in a way that is efficient and adaptable to the context of each mission. Disciplined, agile delivery, Each of Bond's missions follows a hybrid agile approach, with set objectives but flexibility in execution. Dad would describe the overarching strategy that takes into account the various risks and values of the mission objectives. Disciplined, agile enterprise, day. MI6 could be seen as a day, able to respond quickly to international threats and changes with its structured yet flexible operational approach. Disciplined, agile information technology, DI. The tech support Bond receives on his missions, from communications to data analysis, demonstrates a disciplined approach to applying agile strategies to its support. Disciplined, agile flex. This could be the methodology behind the scenes at MI6, working to ensure the organization's agility and readiness to respond to global crises. Disciplined, DevOps. MI6's approach to integrating field operations, solution development, with intelligence gathering and analysis, IT operations, ensuring they work in concert to support Bond's missions. Distributed subteam. Bond's contacts and allies around the world can be seen as distributed subteams, providing local support when needed, while the core team remains at MI6. Emergent design. Bond's operations often evolve in the field. The ability to adapt and develop new strategies on the fly is critical to his success. Enterprise agility. MI6 embodies enterprise agility, with its capacity to adapt rapidly to new threats and situations in a way that is effective and efficient. Error-proofing. The meticulous planning of Bond's missions aims to prevent errors, but when they do occur, the ability to immediately take corrective action is a must. Extreme programming (XP). While not a software developer, Bond's approach to missions could metaphorically align with XP principles. He takes incremental steps, adapts to change, and works closely with his team to achieve the mission goals. Facilitator. In some missions, Bond or another agent might take on the role of facilitator, guiding a team to work together effectively without imposing his own agenda. Feature. Each of Bond's missions has key features or objectives, whether it's securing a defector or stopping a terrorist attack. Fit. This could refer to Bond's state of being mission-ready, physically fit and tactically prepared. Flow. The seamless execution of a mission from start to finish, with minimal disruption, exemplifies the flow in Bond's world. Focused solution team. A specialized unit within MI6, perhaps a group of agents or analysts, working on a specific crisis or mission. Fully dispersed team. Bond often operates as part of a fully dispersed team, with members around the world contributing to the mission's success from various locations. Functional test. Before gadgets are given to Bond, they undergo functional testing by Q branch to ensure they work as intended in the field. Gemba. For Bond, the Gemba is wherever his mission takes him, from the streets of a bustling city to the generalizing specialist. Bond could be considered a generalizing specialist. He has specialties such as marksmanship, hand-to-hand combat, and espionage. Yet he also has a general knowledge of multiple languages, politics, and technology, which he consistently expands. His ability to learn and apply new skills is key to his success on various missions. Good practice. Bond's use of innovative gadgets and techniques that are recognized as best by his peers, such as stealth approaches or interrogation tactics, exemplify good practices in the field of espionage. GQM Bond might use the goal question metric approach to define his mission objectives, goals, devise key questions to identify mission-critical information, and use metrics to assess his progress, such as time to complete a task, number of enemy agents neutralized, or information retrieved. Guided continuous improvement, GCIA. As someone who often works alone or in small teams, Bond may not formally use GCI. However, his ability to reflect on and improve his methods after each mission aligns with the concept of continuous improvement in his line of work. Harness tests. In the context of Bond's world, harness tests could relate to checking his equipment and gadgets for reliability and absence of defects before going into the field. Idealized value stream. Bond, or more accurately, his support team at MI6, might use this concept to optimize mission planning and support logistics to ensure the most efficient use of resources and personnel. Impediment. Any obstacle Bond encounters, be it a locked door or an unexpected enemy, is an impediment to his mission's progress, which he must overcome. Information radiator. In MI6, large screens showing real-time global threats or the status of ongoing missions serve as information radiators, providing Bond with essential information at a glance. Intangible. The intangible aspects of Bond's work might include the culture of MI6, the leadership styles he encounters, the dynamics of his team, and the mental models that govern his decision-making process. Integration system test. Before deploying new software like tracking or surveillance systems, Bond or Q branch would conduct integration system tests to ensure compatibility with existing tools. Iteration. Bond's missions could be seen as iterations, each with a specific objective to be achieved in a set time, often with a demonstration of success required at the end. Iteration plan. Bond's iteration plan would likely be his mission briefing, outlining the specific objectives and steps to be taken during his mission. Iteration planning. Before a mission, Bond would engage in iteration planning to prioritize targets and develop strategies, akin to plotting out the mission's storyboard. Investment pillar. MI6's investment pillars could be intelligence, counterterrorism, and cybersecurity, all of which drive value for national security, and would underpin Bond's mission objectives. Just-in-time, JIT design. Bond often must adapt his strategies and tactics on the fly, making just-in-time decisions and improvisations, which is a form of JIT design in the context of espionage. Kaizen. The continuous improvements Bond makes in his combat skills, gadgetry, and strategy could be seen as a form of Kaizen, as he strives for personal and professional excellence. Kanban. While Bond may not use a physical Kanban board, the concept of managing his tasks and prioritizing them based on urgency is fundamental to his operational effectiveness. Key performance indicator. Bond's KPIs might include the number of successful missions, intelligence gathered, or threats neutralized, which help MI6 evaluate his performance. Lean. Bond's approach to missions often reflects lean principles, as he aims to achieve objectives quickly and efficiently, with minimal waste and maximum impact. Lean governance. The streamlined decision-making and operational flexibility that Bond enjoys within MI6 can be seen as a form of lean governance, allowing him to respond swiftly and effectively to threats. Manual test. Bond might refer to a manual test as a field operation or a trial run that requires human intelligence and physical skills, rather than relying on gadgets and technology. Minimum business increment MBI. In Bond's terms, an MBI would be the least amount of intelligence or action needed to achieve a significant advantage against adversaries while maintaining operational secrecy. Minimum viable product MVP. For Bond, an MVP might be a prototype gadget given by Q that has just enough features to accomplish a mission-critical objective, designed to test a theory in the field. Near-located team. This could translate to a support team that's positioned close to Bond's operational area, but not directly involved in the field, ready to assist when needed. OKRI objectives and key results for Bond would be mission objectives and the critical results needed to deem the mission successful. Open-closed principle. Bond could apply this to his strategy, staying open to new tactics and technologies while maintaining core operational methods that should not be compromised. Operating model. This could be seen as the structure of MI6, showing how different divisions and agents work together to achieve common goals. Operational metrics. Bond might use these as benchmarks for mission success, such as time to objectives, number of hostiles neutralized, or intel gathered. Partially dispersed team. Similar to a near-located team, but with some members operating remotely, perhaps analysts or informants not physically present. Pattern. In espionage, a pattern might be a standard operating procedure for certain types of missions, or the behavior pattern of a surveillance target. PDSA. This cycle would be Bond's process for testing new field tactics or technology, assessing their effectiveness, and adjusting his approach accordingly. Performance test. Bond would use this to ensure his physical abilities or his equipment meet the necessary standards for mission success. Persona. This could be a cover identity created for Bond, complete with background and behavioral traits to infiltrate a target organization. Phase. The phases of Bond's missions. Inception would be the briefing, construction the active fieldwork, and transition the extraction and debrief. Planning. Bond's mission prep, including defining objectives, equipment, and exit strategies. Portfolio level. In MI6, this would be the strategic level where decisions are made about which missions are prioritized and resources allocated. Practice. For Bond, practice would be the habitual methods and tactics he employs in the field, Process. In the world of Bond, this would be the sequence of steps taken to prepare for and execute a mission. Process blade. Bond might consider this as a specific aspect of a mission, such as surveillance or sabotage, with each requiring different sets of skills and tools. Process goals. These would be the mission-specific goals that guide Bond's actions in the field. Product. In Bond's case, the product could be the result of his mission, whether it's stolen intelligence or a neutralized threat. Product owner. In MI6, this might be M, who represents the interests of the British government and is responsible for mission objectives. Product vision. For Bond, the vision driving his mission, detailing what's at stake and the intended outcome. Program increment. This might be the overarching mission plan that encompasses several smaller operations or objectives. Program level. The level at which MI6 coordinates multiple missions or operations that contribute to a larger strategy. Project. For Bond, this could be his current mission or series of missions with defined objectives. Quality assurance, QA. In espionage, this would likely be the review and approval process for mission plans to ensure they meet all necessary standards before execution. Refactor. Bond might need to adapt his approach on the fly, making sure his tactics remain effective without altering the mission's end goal. Release. The point at which Bond is sent into the field or a new piece of intelligence is shared with allies. Release testing. Before deploying a new piece of spy technology in the field, Bond's support team at Q Branch would perform rigorous release testing to ensure the equipment won't fail during a mission. Retrospection. After completing a mission, Bond and his team might engage in retrospection to analyze what went well and what could be improved for future operations. Risk-value delivery cycle. In the planning stage of an operation, Bond would prioritize tasks based on a risk-value delivery cycle, tackling the most dangerous and high-stakes objectives first to reduce threats to national security. Role. In the field, Bond often assumes different roles under cover to infiltrate enemy organizations or to extract information from targets. Root cause. When a mission doesn't go as planned, Bond would look for the root cause of the issue, which might involve a mole within the agency or an unexpected move by the adversary. Scaling factors. Bond would consider scaling factors such as team size and geographic distribution when planning a coordinated strike against a global threat. Scrum. Although Scrum is a methodology for software development, Bond's briefings with his team could resemble a Scrum meeting, where they quickly discuss objectives, resources, and personal assignments. Scrum Master. While there's no direct equivalent in espionage, a Scrum Master could be likened to Bond's handler or mission coordinator, who ensures that all parts of the operation are running smoothly and obstacles are quickly addressed. Self-organizing team. Bond's field team could be considered self-organizing, with each member using their expertise to adapt to changing situations without direct orders. Serial. Bond's missions often require a serial progression of tasks, such as gather intelligence, plan the approach, neutralize threats, and secure objectives. Standard work. For a spy like Bond, standard work includes routine skills like surveillance, intelligence gathering, and hand-to-hand combat. Stakeholder. In Bond's world, stakeholders would include his superiors at MI6 global intelligence agencies, and perhaps even the citizens he is protecting. Story. Bond could use story as a cover narrative for his undercover operations. Story point. If Bond were planning an operation using agile methodology, he might assign story points to different parts of the mission based on their complexity and risk. Subteam. During a complex mission, Bond may work with subteams who have specific tasks like hacking into security systems or providing extraction. Subject matter experts may. Bond frequently consults with SMEs like Q for gadgets and M for mission intelligence. Swarm. In an emergency, Bond's team might swarm an objective with a quick, concentrated effort to overcome an obstacle. System evolution. As threats evolve, Bond's tactics and equipment, systems, must also evolve to ensure continued success. Systems thinking. Bond's success often depends on systems thinking, understanding how disrupting one part of a criminal network affects the whole. Tactical scaling factors. When planning a mission, Bond must consider tactical scaling factors to adapt his strategies to the complexity of the operation. Task. For Bond, a task might be a specific objective within a mission, such as securing a vial of a deadly virus. Team lead. Bond himself might be seen as a team lead, especially when he's coordinating with other agents or local assets. Team level. At the team level, Bond works directly with his peers to accomplish field operations. Technical debt. In the context of Bond's work, technical debt could refer to the consequences of using untested or rushed spy equipment that may cause complications later on. Test-first development. If Q-Branch were to adopt a test-first development approach, they would test the gadgets and tools before they are fully developed to ensure they meet Bond's needs in the field. Theme. A theme in Bond's mission planning could relate to the overarching goal of a series of operations, such as dismantling a terrorist network. Theory of constraints. Bond might use the theory of constraints to identify the weakest link in an enemy's operation that, once broken, would lead to their downfall. Throughput. In the world of espionage, throughput could refer to the amount of intelligence data processed and understood within a certain period. Timebox. Bond might have a timebox for a mission, a fixed period during which a particular objective must be achieved, like disarming a bomb. Unit test. Similar to quality assurance in software, a unit test for Bond could mean testing individual pieces of equipment or parts of his plan in isolation to ensure they work properly. User story. For Bond, a user story might be a scenario detailing the needs and challenges faced by an asset or informant he must protect or extract information from. Value stream. The value stream in Bond's operations could be the sequence of events that leads to the successful completion of a mission with maximum efficiency and minimal waste. Velocity. The velocity of Bond's work could refer to the speed at which he can move from one mission objective to the next. Version control. Although typically a software term, version control for Bond might involve keeping track of different strategies and their outcomes for similar types of missions. Waste. In espionage, waste could refer to any resource or effort that does not directly contribute to the mission's success, such as redundant intelligence reports. Waterfall. While not ideal for software development, a waterfall approach might sometimes be used in Bond's missions, where each phase depends on the deliverables of the previous one. Like in a tightly sequenced infiltration plan. Work in progress, work in progress. For Bond, work in progresses might refer to ongoing surveillance operations or intelligence gathering that is not yet complete. Workflow. The workflow in Bond's context would be the sequence of steps he and his team take to progress through a mission. Work item. A work item for Bond could be any task or piece of intelligence that needs to be acted upon. Work package. This could refer to a set of related tasks or objectives that Bond has been assigned to complete during a mission. Validation. Before embarking on a mission, Bond would ensure that his objectives align with the needs of MI6 and that his approach has been approved by his superiors. Value added. Any activity or gadget that significantly improves Bond's chances of mission success would be considered value added. For example, a new stealth technology that allows him to infiltrate an enemy base undetected. Value creation structure. This could refer to the way MI6 is organized to support field agents like Bond, ensuring that they have the necessary resources and intelligence to carry out their missions effectively. Value realization. Bond sees value realization when the intelligence he gathers is used by MI6 to prevent threats, or when his actions lead to the capture or elimination of a target. Value stream. For Bond, the value stream would encompass the entire process of a mission, from receiving his orders, gathering intelligence, the operation itself, to reporting back to his superiors. Value stream-aligned teams. Teams within MI6 might be structured to ensure the efficient and secure flow of intelligence and resources to agents like Bond, allowing for swift and decisive action on the ground. Value stream consultant. In Bond's world, this could be an individual who advises MI6 on optimizing their operational efficiency, ensuring that all activities contribute to mission success. Value stream impedance, VCI. Bond would recognize VSI as anything that slows down his progress, whether it's bureaucratic red tape within MI6 or obstacles set by the enemy. Value stream map. This might be a visual representation of the sequence of steps Bond needs to take to achieve his mission objectives, from the initial planning phase to the execution. Value stream owner. The person at MI6 responsible for overseeing the success of a mission from a strategic level, ensuring all resources and personnel are aligned with the mission's objectives. Velocity. Bond might use velocity to gauge how quickly he is moving through his mission objectives, and whether he is on track to complete the mission in the allotted time. Verification. Similar to validation, Bond would use verification to check that his actions during a mission are actually fulfilling the requirements set by his superiors. Visual control. Bond might use a simplified form of this, such as a smartwatch or gadget with a user interface that alerts him to mission updates or threats. Voice of the customer. In Bond's case, the customer is often the government or MI6. He needs to understand and meet their requirements, which can include national security objectives or specific mission goals. Waste. In espionage, waste would refer to any excess that doesn't contribute to mission success, like unnecessary risk or inefficient use of resources. XP, Extreme Programming. While Bond is not a developer, the principles of quick adaptation, continuous feedback, and incremental changes are certainly applicable to his quick-paced and often unpredictable missions. Yesterday's weather. Bond could use historical data of past missions to predict the resources needed for a current mission, assuming conditions remain consistent. Acceptance testing